Today's episode is with Madi from SisterSnacking. It has become one of the largest foodie influencer accounts in all of New York City. She's making a massive impact on the food and beverage space. We found out more about her journey, some hidden gems, some cool food concepts in and out of New York City, and much, much more. Let's get into it. This week's episode is brought to you by Swevin, a co-working space in the heart of Hoboken with skyline views. We appreciate you, Swevin, for this awesome, sick podcast studio. Now, let's get into the podcast.
You know where you are!
This is the OutliersPodcast. Let's go! Did you ever anticipate your account to be one of the largest New York City foodie influencer accounts?
I don't know if I anticipated it, but I really wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to grow, and I feel like I just knew exactly if I just kept posting and kept posting high quality, good content, it would land and it would be great. So yeah, I was just like hoping it became this like resource. I'm literally like my brain eats, sleeps, like everything I think about is food. Like I think about where am I eating, what am I making, what am I trying next. So for me, it was kind of second nature to just like start posting it. And then I feel like, I don't know, with all like the video content, we started getting really good at that. Mm-hmm. And kind of like maybe earlier than some people, when like a lot of people were like, I don't know if I'm going to join TikTok. And then they finally joined it. And we were already kind of growing on there. And we got the video thing down. And then when Reels started becoming a thing, we were like, all right, we got to post Reels. Mm-hmm. You can't not, post the Reels. And yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what happened. I don't know.
When did you start?
So started SisterSnacking 2015 when I was a junior in college. And I kind of texted my sisters and I was like, guys, we have like such an easy little Instagram name we can make, just SisterSnacking. It's so easy. So I'm one of 4 girls, so I'm the second oldest.
Is Carly the oldest?
No, Carly is younger than me.
No way.
Well, yeah, I know. It's kind of funny because our family goes, like the youngest is the tallest and the oldest is the shortest.
Yeah.
So I have an older sister, Sarah, who's 32. Mm-hmm. She does this full time with me. And then there's me. I'm 29. Carly's 28. And then her younger sister, Julia, is 20, and she's out in college. She turns 21 next month. So we've all kind of been just like enamored with food. I think I definitely led the food charge where we just started, I don't know, like most people into food, I feel like started by watching Food Network.
Yeah.
Like I started in high school and middle school, I would just marathon watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And I was obsessed. Like Guy Fieri, king. I actually got to meet him this summer for like 3 minutes, but he was very nice. And he kind of inspired me to like really explore restaurants. And so we would drive around and go to all these restaurants. And we would do that. And then, I don't know, we just started cooking at home together, and food just became this kind of like language in our family where everything was centered around food. And so, yeah, like when we would go out to dinner, it's funny because our parents would be like, you can order whatever you want, but you have to finish it.
Yeah.
Like, not like a force-feeding way,
of course.
But if you want your own little meatball appetizer, get it. But, like, finish that.
Yeah.
And, like, we would plan a lot of our family things around food, as most families do.
Yeah. It was always like the focal point to put you guys all together.
Yeah.
It's also cool, too, because I feel like it was almost like divide and conquer. That you guys were able to have 4 of you sisters, like, all around.
Yeah.
And kind of just be able to, it almost increased your algorithm, right? Or not really?
Yeah, I think at first it really helped us because, so we're from Connecticut. And so it really helped us. It really helped us at first because we were doing Connecticut content during the pandemic and we were all living at home. And so we were living at home and we were able to we would get takeout and we would make TikTok reviews of it. And nobody was really doing that because everything was just confusing during 2020. And so, yeah, we started to like see that growth in Connecticut. So we built this really trusted Connecticut following, which was funny. And then we came back to New York and we did New York. And then our older sister ended up moving out to Boston. Now she moved to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And so she's been doing this like whole Northeast New England situation. So it's been a lot of Maine content.
Yeah, lobster rolls.
Lobster rolls. I mean,
I just saw your most recent one.
Yeah, because people in Connecticut love lobster Connecticut Shore.
Yeah.
So it kind of translates to Maine. And then now wherever we go, I mean, we say like our mission statement is to be a resource for all things food, no matter where you go. So we went to see Taylor Swift in Paris in May. And so we did a whole London trip, we did a Paris trip, and we made tons of content. Like the whole thing was let's try and find the best restaurants and make really detailed guides and recommendations. So yeah, now it's...
How do you go about, what's the criteria you guys are using to find like your next restaurant or, dish? Like, how do you go about that?
Yes, that is, it's definitely been trial and error, but I would say it's a lot of research. So it's going through Eater, it's going through maybe like trusted Instagrams, it's going through Google reviews, Google posts. Belly is really helpful if you haven't used them. Mm-hmm. And then kind of I'll make a Google Doc and I'll start writing out, I'll categorize it. So this is like breakfast, lunch, snack, coffee, bakery, drink. And I'll kind of start listing it out and I'll write a little blurb. And if I see it somewhere else, I'll kind of bold it and be like, okay, this one is getting like a lot of... They're starting to gain traction. Just not even gain traction, but people that I trust or accounts or publications I trust also are saying that this place is a spot that's worth checking out. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I end up picking. Like I slowly...
Yeah, dive into them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what everyone should do is on Instagram, what I end up doing, and on TikTok, I make a saved playlist for cities. And so I've never been to Hawaii, but I have 20 places saved in Hawaii on TikTok. And TikTok I don't always trust, but I'll save them, I'll do a little research, and then I'll pin them on my maps and create this whole map. So when I go somewhere, I have a Google map, and I'm kind of walking around. I'm like, oh, this place I've saved, I have a note, I know what it is, I know why I want to go, and then I might go.
And it's what I respect about that is you put a lot of professionalism behind all of this, which is why it became a fold. It's like, for example, if you put hobby efforts, you're going to get hobby results.
True.
If you put full-time efforts and you put your passion into it, you're going to get that in return.
Yeah. And
it seems like you're doing that, having a true organization within it. Have you always been full-time with this? Like, when did that become a full-time effort?
No. I went full-time in December 2022. Mm-hmm. So I always wanted to work in food. So I started working, I did sales and partnerships at Uber Eats for 4 years. So I worked with restaurants on that side of things.
Wow.
Where it was kind of like handling the partnerships, bringing on the restaurants, speaking with restaurateurs, started small with S&B, single restaurants, mm-hmm. and then going into strategic partnerships and doing some bigger groups like Baked by Melissa, Tao Group, things like that, the larger groups. And then from there, I ended up getting recruited by Shake Shack, and where I did digital partnerships, which was actually funny because I ran all the delivery partners on Shake Shack side. So I kind of flipped roles. Instead of being the front-facing side, I was the brand side.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. And so I learned a lot more about marketing there, how to creatively run a campaign with all different stuff from social push to PR to... We didn't do I guess we did some out of home for not really, but it would be really big social campaigns. So it was very helpful for me, and I would even run different influencer campaigns through the delivery partners. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, just being able to see the in and out of marketing. It's the fact that you had that as your foundation, being okay, there's a real business to this.
Yeah.
There's actual thoughts and efforts and strategy in place, not just let's post a cool looking food item.
Yeah.
Not just a basic burger. There's actual strategy behind it. What did you learn from the Uber Eats business side of things?
I met my husband there. That was cool.
Oh, really? So that was a win within itself.
That's
sounds priceless to me.
No, that was sales, cold calling, hardcore, straight up sales, mm-hmm. and I think I gained a lot of confidence. I gained the ability to speak to people, I feel like on a professional manner, like emails. I think that's so big. You don't always learn how to write a nicely worded email in college.
I'm king ChatGPT now. I mean, I
You
couldn't
sound like
imagine.
husband, yeah.
Yeah, I use it way too often now. I couldn't imagine doing it before. Because you're right, with emails, it's very important. That's why I'm always the guy who just randomly calls someone.
I mean, love that for you.
Yeah, I just immediately just call someone if on top of my mind.
I am a horrible texter, and I feel like I should call. Or I sometimes do voice notes, but
I think voice notes are so underrated.
I think I need to use those more and get into ChatGPT more for things.
But voice notes are so underrated. I don't know why
Yes.
people don't use voice notes.
Yes.
Just you just rip it what you want to say and get to the point and just go on to the next thing.
And it's kind of funny to hear someone's stream of conscious coming out, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, and now you changed your mind. Okay, this is... So, more voice notes.
Yeah, it's like a voicemail 2.0.
Exactly.
And then how about so like when you started doing the partnerships and all of that, like how do you go about creating, because you guys are doing such like high level partnerships. How did that go about?
I think that all just came naturally. I think, I don't know, for us, I feel like we pride ourselves in being super authentic. Mm-hmm. I think we have something that sets us apart is this family element a little bit and just having authentic passion for what we're doing. So I feel like the brands started to get to know us, and a lot of brands, like we'll get an email and the person at that agency will be like, oh, I've been following you guys for years. I'm a huge fan. Mm-hmm. You know, we want to talk about X, Y, and Z. So those just kind of came naturally. We actually just signed with management about 3 months ago.
Oh, so it's relatively new.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see someone kind of jump in and represent you and then handle all that back and forth. Mm-hmm. But because I had the partnerships background and the sales and negotiating, I was doing all of our negotiating. So I was like doing all the back and forth. Mm-hmm. But at some point it becomes a little bit too much. And then also being the talent and being the one advocating for yourself, it just gets a little bit awkward. Yeah. And, you know, you don't want to be that jerk who's pushing back and keeps saying
absolutely.
No.
But also, unfortunately, it's perception is reality, which is like the perception of someone else speaking on your behalf. It sends another level of professionalism to it. Yeah. Even though you're probably just as professional as the next person when it comes to advocating for yourself. It's like almost having a broker in between you and that next location or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
How has it helped you? Has that been the main thing? It's helping you in that regard of like advocating for you? Or do you feel like you have other new deals coming up because of the manager?
Yeah, I mean, it's only been a few months, and I know she's doing an amazing job pitching us out, so we've been having a lot of conversations. It's funny, we got paired with her, and she actually lives in Hoboken, which was so fun. So we're able to like carpool to events, and she'll come with us to shoots, and she's really, really, really so helpful. I think the coolest part, maybe for me, because I kind of post a little bit on my own Instagram, the Madi Snacks one, they also are representing myself. And my other sister, Carly, also does a little bit of social content, and so she's been representing us as well. And so sometimes, like, let's say SisterSnacking might not be a fit, maybe budgets don't align, we can kind of say, oh, well, here, you know, you have Madison's page or Carly's page, and you can do X, Y, and Z. It might be a better fit. But she's been helping me kind of monetize that stuff as well, because I think there is a space for micro creators right now. Like, I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And so I know everyone's trying to grow on social media, but I feel like that's been really helpful.
In what way do you feel like there's an opportunity there for micro influencers?
I just feel like, honestly, sometimes someone like us or another big page just might be a little bit outpriced for a smaller CPG brand. Mm-hmm. I don't know, like I naturally try so many different things. I don't know, like I go to a grocery store. I love grocery shopping. Mm-hmm. I'll go in there and I am enamored by the shelves. I'm like, okay, I'll take this and I'm going to get this. And I naturally will buy those things. And so if there was a small, let's say, I just did one myself with Perfect Bar. And I guess they're not like small, but if there was like a small up and coming brand, they might have a little bit of budget and they're like, hey, we'd love to just like naturally integrate. And for us, like our brand, our SisterSnacking is so curated now. So to show like just a protein bar, it doesn't really feel authentic. It doesn't feel the same. But I think with smaller creators, you're able to just, I don't know, find your niche slowly and figure out what works. And now we're so kind of in this, like we're in our space and we're in our brand. And sometimes when you go out of it, it's not the move. And I think it comes off a little bit like Addy. It's kind of like you're selling your followers and you don't want to do that. So yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of brands that understand the importance of social media right now, and they might not have big budgets, but they can handle maybe, someone with 20, 30,000 followers and just say, hey, just put this, in a little video and make it easy.
What do you think that would cost for those type of brands? For like micro-influencers?
Yeah.
Like what would their budgets be, you think?
I mean, I know people take small deals sometimes, and I think that's fine. I think sometimes if you take something that really is below your value, it does devalue all the other creators in the space. But I feel like, to integrate really naturally into someone's content, let's say someone shares like a day in the life almost every day, or I think like $500, $1,000, a couple of thousand, like it depends on how big the scope is and if they're using whitelisting, which is where they take it and run ads, if they want exclusivity, those all play into it. So it's kind of hard to give like a set number. But if someone was like, hey, just like naturally integrate this, try it out, I feel like people would do it for like $500.
Yeah, especially if it aligns with their own true values.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like, for me, I just feel like as long as they get almost like build a relationship, or even if they get free stuff, I feel like people are down for.
I know.
Just being, especially the micro.
I know. Once I feel like people start getting free stuff, they get really excited, and
But then they get desensitized to it. So like, all right, I need to make a living here.
You get desensitized, but you also don't want to devalue your worth.
Yeah.
If you have amazing engagement and people are coming every week to watch, the series you post every Sunday, like you need to value what you're doing, and you can be extremely helpful for brands. But sometimes they do fall. Like you never know, and that's the hardest thing. And I think sometimes brands get a little bit, not frustrated, but they just don't know what works. And it's so hard to say. So that's why maybe starting off small with a smaller creator is a good move.
How about like up and coming food concepts? Let's say like a mom and pop donut shop. They just open up. How would you go about helping market them? Like how should they start utilizing micro influencers or just influencers in general?
It's so I would say like years ago, I feel like we ended up taking maybe like a little bit of money from restaurants. Now we don't do that unless it's like a brand partnership, like a like we've done like McDonald's partnerships and things like that. Like we don't do that because it's just like inauthentic. And so that's the hardest thing. Like if these restaurants really, really, really want you to come, like they're going to maybe throw money at you. But then if you're posting about these restaurants and it's just not coming off authentic and you don't actually like it, it's really, really difficult for that creator to build trust with their following. And I see a lot of people that do take these partnerships and from restaurants, and you kind of see the same places over and over. There might be one place that opens up and they're like, all right, we're going to like pay a lot of creators to come here. And then you start noticing it and you're like, oh, but you went and you went and you went. I just feel like this isn't actually authentic, that you actually like this place. So I think it's just being really, I don't know, like welcoming, make it work for that creator. I think sometimes you get these emails where restaurants like, hey, you want to come into our restaurant, you can only come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can get 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and like 1 dessert. And I understand like costs of restaurants. But sometimes you're doing yourself a disservice if you're inviting this person in to make this beautiful video about you. You're limiting what they can create. And it came up today. I posted this video a year ago today. When I moved to Hoboken, you guys texted me and you were like, hey, you want to come by and just get some bagels, welcome you to Hoboken. And you guys just like couldn't have been nicer. And I had the bagels before. Yeah, I had the bagels before. I was like, oh, I'm a fan. Like, this is great. And it was so nice, and it felt so authentic to you and your brand, and it felt authentic to me and my brand. To be like, oh, I just moved to Hoboken. Why would I not go get the best? It was like the sweetest thing, and it was awesome. And it was like a great way for me to actually even tell our followers, hey, I just moved to Hoboken. And I feel like the people that live in Hoboken have this warm, they're so welcoming. They love the Hoboken content. So that felt so authentic to your brand, and also authentic to kind of like maneuvering your way into our brand and saying, like, this makes sense. I think, I don't know, it's sometimes, it's kind of how you interact with that person at restaurant. If they're just like, hey, I've been following you for a long time. If you ever want to come by, like, this is the option.
Would love to have you.
Just, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people will follow up over and over, and it's just like, I don't know. It's hard also for us to dictate how many places to even go to. And so at this point, we really mainly just try and pay for our food so we can be as honest and as fair as possible, unless we know the person and we have a relationship with them and they're opening their second location or something like that.
Yeah.
So
when you came to Hoboken, it was amazing because, like, you came into Hoboken, it was great to meet you and your husband, and then within, like, the first week or second week, you did that, like, unbelievable collaboration with the Hive. And that would seem like a rocket ship.
Oh my
Talk about coming to the market hot.
Oh my
what was
God.
that about?
Okay.
Like, how did that come about? Because it was huge.
Okay, that I will credit Kate. I know she came on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because she told us about the Hive cinnamon rolls, and she was like, they're amazing. So as soon as I got here, I was like, I need to get these cinnamon rolls. And so that was one. I was like, I reached out to the Hive. I was like, so what's the process for getting the cinnamon rolls? And they're like, oh, like, any day you want them, we'll have some for you.
Yeah.
And they were the sweetest. I mean, you know those numbers.
Yeah, they're so nice. It's almost like they kill you with kindness. They're
I
so
love
nice.
that saying. Yes.
They kill you with kindness.
Yes.
Like, they'll be texting me, and then they're just so nice.
Couldn't be nicer.
Yeah.
So I ended up going. I went with one of my sisters. Actually, the youngest sister was staying with me. And I said, Julie, we're going to go get these cinnamon rolls that I hear are great. So we go, and we just get the classic cinnamon rolls. And when I tell you I took this bite, and this is what a cinnamon roll should taste like. This is incredible. And so that was, in August. And we had cinnamon rolls, posted about it. And I think our video of the original cinnamon rolls, I don't think it hit 1 million views, but it probably got, 700, 800,000 views, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And they were like, holy crap, like, we just got, like, people are coming, they saw your video, this is awesome. So then they do seasonal flavors. They had, like, a pumpkin one, and every time they would just be like, hey, we can put some aside for you if you want to stop by. Like, amazing, so sweet. Mm-hmm. So have the pumpkin ones. And I think it was when I was actually having the pumpkin ones, I said to Kat, the owner, I said, Kat, if you ever want to do a collab, like, I'm here. I love your cinnamon rolls. We could do something really fun. And she was as humble as she was like freaking out because she was so excited. And I was like, I'm excited. Like, this could be amazing. And so we end up slowly, like, we started trying out different flavors. I sent them a few ideas, and it was actually credit to my husband on this one. So we were talking about things we really like, and we were talking about Breakfast by Salt Cure. Have you ever been there for their pancakes? It's great. It's actually, like, if you take the path, it's like 2 minutes away. It's actually an LA brand that opened in the West Village, and so they have these, like, oat griddle, blueberry, flaxseed, maple pancakes.
Sounds super LA.
It is, but they're so good. They're not, like, skinny.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They're not, like, healthy. They're very good. They're slathered in butter. And so we were talking about things that we love, and he was like, what about, like, a blueberry pancake? Because that's, like, such a fun flavor. You can do the maples, and we're going to be launching in January. So it was kind of like this warm way to tie in blueberries. Mm-hmm. And I think blueberries in something is, like, my favorite thing. Mm-hmm. So we started working on different flavors and trying things out. They tried out, like, I think it was, like, almond croissant. We tried out savory ones. And at the end of the day, we were like, blueberry pancake is just a marketable thing. This is going to be something if we make it. Like, it can be really good. And so, when it launched, it went crazy. And then my sister Carly, her friend, is an assistant to Blake Lively, and she was filming It Ends With Us in Jersey City, in Hoboken, and the assistant actually reached out to Carly and was like, hey, I feel like Blake would love these rolls. And so we're like, on it, we'll get them tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So her team picks them up, brings them to her. She literally posted within, I feel like it was like an hour from getting them. and it was her post, like, these cinnamon rolls are my new religion. And it was sad because she didn't tag us. She tagged the Hive. And I was like, it was like my birthday. I was like, dang it. That would have been a really nice, little bum. But the Hive grew like crazy. The lines were crazy. And then her assistant texts Carly again and says, we want more for Ryan. So then Ryan posts the next day.
That's crazy.
And now it's actually funny. We've like got to meet Blake. We went to the It Ends With Us premiere 2 weeks ago. And Blake, like, she sees us. She's like, bring back those blueberry rolls. And so we're seeing if there's some kind of way to all come together and do something. But yeah, they're not over. The blueberry rolls there's some shipping in the works. I'm not speaking for Hive, but yeah, it was a very cool thing to just see how impactful one you can be in a business, and how if you market something in a really great way and you create something that just works. I feel like you have that with the bee sting. Yeah, it just works. And then it goes crazy. It's
almost like sometimes almost humbling, It's like, holy shit, we were able to, especially with you, you're able to help another small business and truly make a real impact. And the benefit you guys get is obviously increases your brand. It shows your notoriety, true authenticity.
Yeah.
It was like a win-win.
I mean, it's also like a case study for us.
Yeah.
Because we can be like, oh my God, you can do this. And I've seen it, I've seen it with Papa Bagels. Yeah. Our relationship with them and posting about them and the way that accelerated them with their opening in New York and everything. And yeah, it's really cool to have that impact. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things about what I do now is you can actually, I'm not, you can't like, if a restaurant's like going out of business, I don't think we're going to make a big change unless something like the Hive happens and it goes crazy. But to see a like impact you can actually have on somebody's livelihood and somebody's business is really cool.
It's amazing to see the influencer side of things and the social media side of things, and I think that's why Bobby Flay is also like now so intrigued by the content creators of the world, because that's the incubator. It's not even, sometimes you get more views, some of these creators are getting more views than even the Food Network themselves.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
It is crazy, and I think there's been a shift where a lot of these maybe original chefs are understanding that collaborating with different creators might get you access to a whole different audience. The same way we would get access to a whole different audience if we were to do something, with an old school chef that's been around for years. It's just, and I think the collab posts are one of the coolest things you can do. I don't have it on TikTok yet, but I know like on Instagram, it is so, so great to just even be able to, to integrate with someone that's different. And that's why we have a sister snacking series called Snacking with the Sisters. Mm-hmm. And so we either go on food crawls with people, we interview people, and you will collab post. And it's like this amazing thing where this person can get access to our following, and then we can get access to like their following, and it becomes this whole thing. And even we did one with Cuisines out in Staten Island, in Danny, and he took us around to all his spots. And to this day, people still bring that up to us. And like, oh, we saw you went out to Staten Island and did all this stuff.
And it's crazy how certain things that you're doing resonate with certain people, which is shocking. You don't know, like you could be doing things for 3 months in a row, and that one thing that you didn't know you were doing can resonate with someone.
It's so silly.
Which is wild. What are the biggest mistakes some foodie influencers are doing right now that you're seeing, and you're like, that they're just like, kind of just stand still and they're not building a bigger audience?
I mean, I don't know if it goes back to what we were saying, but maybe it is just going to the places that invite you, that everyone's going to. If everyone's going to the same place, that's this brand new thing that, maybe a PR company is saying, okay, let's reach out to X amount of influencers. Sometimes that, I don't know if that would be maybe the mistake, but I don't know. I think just like my biggest thing in this world is being authentic and kind of like showcasing like your passion. Mm. And I think maybe some people might just think it works and see it works for someone else, where they might not even really care as much as they actually do, and they just want to be an influencer or just get free food. Like, you might be in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And that could be, it will trickle down. Everything won't work. I feel like if you're just in it maybe for free makeup or free meals or free clothes, it's, I don't know. That, I guess.
How about what advice would you give certain influencers now to actually get to, let's say if they're building a larger audience, how do they start monetizing their accounts?
I think it is authentically tagging brands, because even to this day, like if we tag a brand, you know, you start having a relationship with them and they see that you authentically use their product. I think sharing those brands, or even reaching out to brands and saying, hey, I've been using your X for 5 years and it's truly my favorite thing. If you guys ever are looking to do any partnerships, would love to chat. And I think come up with like a little one-sheeter and say, you know, these are our following, this is our growth, this is where our demographics are. You could even put a case study like, you know, we have with the Hive. If you had a really big impact on a certain product or you had one really good viral video, show that. And like you can make anything on Canva now, and people should make these little things. And I think just putting yourself out there, and I feel like it will come. But it is hard to flip that switch with the brand sometimes and to be like, okay, we're going to now pay you money.
Yeah. But I mean, if you want to get to that next level of professionalism, you have to get rejected 10 times to get that one.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But it's fostering relationships. Yeah. I think, and that's why I'm glad I had that, you know, sales background of partnerships and networking and all that stuff, because I feel like most of what we do now, it's almost like just relationship building, whether it's with a chef at a restaurant or a PR company or an agency that we worked with on one partnership that comes to us for another one. It's just the relationships. And if somebody had a positive experience with you, they'll go back to their team. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's the same way a restaurant. The same way you guys, if somebody had a great bee sting or, you know, one of your sandwiches, they're going to be like, oh, I know that this is good. Let me try this other one from them. Or if you have the O-Bites now, like this, people are probably flocking to get them because they know what you do and they know that's good. So why wouldn't that be good?
No, you're right. And I think it's about just building I think it's also just the small steps, right? Yeah. Like success really doesn't happen overnight, but as long as you're taking like those certain goals in each week and little by little it just starts compounding into a greater opportunity in the future. You have so many different opportunities that you guys do. What's your ideal project that you guys work on? Like, is it going to those restaurants? Is it doing collaboration with the chefs? Is it, you know, just doing the sister snacking or the snacking
with the sisters? Snacking
with the sisters.
I know. We like alliterations.
I like that though.
You know, we're working on a lot of things right now, and I think that's what management has been helpful for. It's positioning us and saying, what do we need to focus on? So working on merch, product. We sell these really detailed guides. I think those are so rewarding to do all this work and research and then have someone come to you and use that. I think there's a larger play there, whether it's like an app. I don't know. We have to get more creative with that. But I think what we're really good at is like recommendations, travel guides, and coordinating that. I don't know. I always want to be eating good food and like making good food. And I don't know what exactly is the main focus. I don't know. We talk about a lot of things, and we're in this point where we're trying to decide what exactly is the next thing. But hopefully it's like less running around and doing a million things of content and people just knowing like the content that we do put out, whether if it is, you know, at just higher quality, whether it doesn't have to be quantity over quality, or you don't want quantity over quality. And I think I'm always striving for quality and just putting out really good stuff. And then I feel like the rest will come some way.
How did you get so gifted within your video content side of things and your editing? Was it just like practice and just you guys? Is there any one of your sisters that do all the editing for all of you guys, or everyone just shoots their own content and edits their own content and puts it on the page?
I would say I definitely lead the force on the editing and content. I think I have a specific style, and now my sisters have the same style because we've kind of said everything needs to look the same. Like, I ended up getting one camera, and we shoot everything on a video camera now for the most part. And so then my sisters got that camera, and we said, okay, this is the this is standard, and this is what we have to do. And then, yeah, I mean, now I like edit on a software on a computer. And it's just, like, making sure it's really clean, getting really sick food shots because people love food porn. And, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just practice. I'm definitely not as good as I could be. Mm-hmm. And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and it's still so hard. Even when I make, like, our YouTube videos, I now use an editor sometimes, but...
It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
I need so much more improvement, and I think that's the whole thing. Everyone can be improving. You're never like your peak.
Yeah.
And so now I think we have the luxury of being able to outsource some stuff and hopefully elevating. Like, we are looking into short form editors now, but I'm a little picky, and it's hard when you do voiceovers. How do you? I don't know. Somebody edits it. How do you line up? The cheese pull when you talk about the mac and cheese. Like, it needs to all cohesively come together.
It's finding that right person that could be a part of your team, like, on a full-time basis, or like knowing that, hey, we're going to do at least 3 or 4 projects a week, and this, like, the proposal, I guess, because you don't want to be rotating different editors, and they don't know your style, they don't know how you work, vice versa.
Once you get it down, I mean, I'm sure you have that with your sister now.
Yeah, and Jana, and obviously CG as well. We have our own, like, style, and it's kind of like, all right, let's just go. It's so amazing if you. I don't know. You have to get to the point. We gotta invest in it, though. It's just crazy. Like, that's why for us we invest so much. Well, I've been that's all I do. Just put it back in the business. Yeah. So again, the point now that, like, I'm always thinking about subconsciously, but I just don't do it. It's like we have the same amount of followers as, like, high level influencers, right? Like, we'll have. I think we're like almost 300,000 on TikTok.
Your engagement is crazy too.
But I wonder if it makes sense to ever get paid for our stuff. You know what I mean? I'm always in that weird. That's like a selfish question, but, like,
I think I talked to Jen also about. I don't know if you ever joined the creator program on TikTok.
I know CG was always telling me to do that. I feel like we need to do that.
I mean, you can actually make a lot of money, but not like that. But your videos go pretty viral. But I know people say when you join. I think for us, like, the first 3 months, it felt like there was a
dip.
Yeah,
I think that's what I was scared of.
And I know people that aren't in it, and they have crazy engagement, and they're scared to do it, but. I mean, it's hard because the videos have to be over a minute, and I feel like sometimes yours probably teeter around that. But I don't know. We had one video where we made probably, I don't know, maybe close to like $5,000.
No way. How many views is that?
That was a while ago. That had like 6 or 7 million. But that was a while ago, so it changed it. So that was when it first came out. Now it's
dipped.
It's dipped. But people make a lot of money every month in it. So you could do that. You can also, I feel like you guys could be doing some sort of brand partnerships with these brands. And I mean, I know, obviously, like, you rep the Hot Honey, like Mike's Hot Honey. Mm-hmm. But it's like, how do you integrate a brand into a sandwich? Kind of like what we did with the Hive. Like, you just have a brand come with you, and I don't know, you do something, and it becomes this whole marketing play for them.
Yeah, or even like maybe an apron that I'm wearing or some gear or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you do have your merch, right? Because everyone can buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so... I don't know, but I feel like for you guys, you're a rare case because a lot of restaurants cannot grow on TikTok. And you have this massive following. And maybe it is doing more of the collaborations with the creators, whether... I like when you do the videos. Like, let's say so-and-so walked into the shop right now. What are we making them? Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's the same thing as trying to get people there. And there's obviously the hurdle, the Hoboken. You got to get over.
That's why we're hopefully inevitably going to go over the water. That's the goal. Sick. That's like the next stage.
Have you started looking at?
Yeah, I've been testing the markets. I'm just looking into that area, figuring out Bagel or Bites. Bites is something I'm
Well, I mean, there was that one that went out of business, the Bantam.
Yeah, Bantam Bagels. Yeah.
I think it's a mix because I think what you guys do so well are your sandwiches. And I'll tell anyone that. I mean, as someone who didn't grow up in Jersey, and my husband's from Jersey, he talks about Jersey bagels. And, I mean, obviously I'm a big pop-up fan.
Yeah.
But what you guys do so well is a sandwich.
Yeah.
You just make it good, and sometimes people cook the eggs weird. The cheese is not melty.
Yes.
And so I feel like that's really where you thrive. And I would tell you, like, a lot of the bagel shops in the city now that I used to love, I've gone back and I've gotten a sandwich, and it's just not right anymore. I don't know. I think you could strive.
No, I appreciate that. I think I think the difference with what we do is to focus on the attention to detail. So, like, for example, just on our flat tops, we have 2 different flat tops. One of them is a colder temperature for just our eggs. And we have another flat top that's super hot just for meats. So it's like imagine when you're sauteing, right, and you're making scrambled eggs, you don't want a super hot pan.
No.
So on our flat tops, we have 2 different flat tops. Because I agree with you. Like, nothing's worse than, like, going to a spot and you have, like, overdone egg or it's, like, a cold piece of cheese.
Yeah.
It's just the attention to detail just matters so much. I appreciate that the fact that you are receiving it and understand it. Like, we market it and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, we're selling like over 1,000 sandwiches in a day, and we're trying to make sure we're as consistent as possible. Are we perfect? No. But at the end of the day, like, we're going to do our very best that if you come in on a Tuesday, you're going to get the same product on a Saturday. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's like our main thing.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously have come from the New York area, and you have guides and this and that. Is there any hidden gems in New York City that feel like aren't getting the attention they deserve? Or you want to keep maybe hidden, but like, what are certain hidden gems in New York that deserve more attention?
I'm thinking. Any price point?
No.
No, not. Oh.
Any price point.
Gosh. I think like a really good one, and I know they get some love for their burger, but I love Lords. It's in Greenwich Village because they own Dame, which is a seafood place. But Lords opened up, and they do like the whole thing where it's like the 12 burgers a night, but they have this Welsh rarebit burger, and it's phenomenal. And it's so good, but they do like a Scotch egg. They have meat pie. I don't know. It's hearty,
Is it a
but
bar?
it's refreshing. Not really. It's a restaurant.
It's like a tavern?
Kind of. It's almost like British. And you don't see a lot of that food. I think... What do I really, really like? I don't know if this is a hidden gem, but I love this place, Raku, for udon and donburi bowls. I love Japanese things. So what do I like that's Japanese?
So that's what's beautiful about New York. You can go to places just serving udon.
Yeah, literally anything. Oh my, you put me on. I have to like look at my phone sometimes. Just give me a quick second. This is what I get asked all the time, and my brain goes dead.
Yeah, it's because you have so many in your mind.
I know. I'm like, what do I like? A fun one we tried was Spoonies out in Brooklyn. That was really good. They also have a great burger, like an orzo, or lobster orzo. That was phenomenal. I really liked Masara. Oh, my favorite this is not a hidden gem, but this has been my favorite restaurant this year, and like honestly might be like my top 5 is Theodora out in Fort Greene. And they actually did just open a bakery last week, and I'm going to go this week. But it's like a seafood forward spot that, I don't know, they have this off menu like black cod collar where they smoke it over a flame. They have really good breads that they make in-house. So it's like Mediterranean meets seafood. So I like that. And then Bernie's. I love Bernie's in Greenpoint.
What's Bernie's?
Bernie's is... It kind of feels like a TGI Fridays almost, but upscale. And I mean that in a nice way.
It's done on the right way.
It has big old plates of chicken parm. They have these wooden bowls where they have Caesar salad in it, mozzarella sticks. They have sundaes, and they're no res, and it's right next to McCarran Park. It's just, everything is hearty and delicious, and I really like it there. Yeah, they're really good.
What's the most Instagrammable spot in New York right now? What do you think is just like absolutely exploding in New York right now?
What is absolutely exploding? There is this fried chicken spot that's been getting... I'm going to go this week, that like Bird Box that is like has a foot on the fried chicken.
I did see that.
There's this massive sandwich that our friend Brian, who runs Brian Can't Stop Eating, went to out in Astoria. And it's a $19 sandwich, and it literally looks like a big baby. Like it's a baby. And it's it's huge. But I know, like, with Listeria and the meats, some people are afraid to eat it now, but it's like this massive sandwich called Sal, Chris, and Charlie's. But some people just call it the Sandwich King. And I feel like I've been seeing that a lot. I don't know, like, I feel like burgers are everywhere. But, like, Mama's too, the industry's still kind of kicking strong after opening in the West Village. Every time we went last week, he had an elote slice at Mama's too. And he just kind of keeps things fresh and exciting, and people are always going there.
He's crushing it, huh? Mama's too?
He's really crushing it.
For being in such a difficult market. That's pizza and sandwiches, correct?
Yeah.
And he's like an outlier in that space right now.
Too.
And gelato. Didn't know he had that.
Yeah. Really good gelato.
And who is he? What's his name?
His name's Frank. And
he's a young guy, right?
Yeah. I think he... Yeah. I don't even... Yeah, I'm trying to think how old he is. I don't want to guess his age, but he's really talented, and he has the one that's all the way on like 110th Street on the west side. And yeah, he just like found this thing, and people love it. The sandwiches are fun, and he does a really good job. And they, they'll make their pizza, and I think he's the guy who kind of started this. And then like the industry slowly, I think, might have been doing it at the same time, but to order, they'll put the pizza in the oven, and then they'll put fresh basil, they'll put olive oil, they'll shave fresh parm, and it kind of elevates that slice a little bit. So,
it's like a little extra touch.
Yeah.
It really helps, though. Yeah. Are you guys doing a collaboration with them at the Corny Lotte or no?
No. That was just something we tried.
Yeah.
No, we've never done a collab with them, but we just go rather frequently.
Yeah.
But some people go more than we do.
What's next for SisterSnacking? Any new projects coming up? Or goals?
Like I said, the merch. Working on a little book situation.
Working on a book?
So we've been working on a little proposal. Keep growing on YouTube. And then we've actually talked about a podcast. We're figuring it out. I don't know. We're like 3 sisters all talking at once. You know, we just got to figure out what exactly we want to say and how we want to say it and how you position that. So I think there's a lot of room. Like, podcasts can really push through, but there are a lot of podcasts. So figuring out that.
There's a lot of podcasts, but I think what I've come to realize is that there's not many in our space.
No, so people say the food space actually is not, it doesn't always take off as much, but I feel like there's not a lot of people doing it, so it could work in our favor.
Yeah, the level of entry is easier.
Yeah,
you know, we're not competing with that many people to interview.
Yeah.
It's like the celebrity space or real estate or financial or sports.
Yes.
Like you're competing against ESPN and these major markets and this and that.
Yeah.
With the food and bev side of things, it's like,
yeah.
I don't know who else is really there's not many people out there.
Yeah, there's a new one that came out that Katie Lee, who's on the Food Network, she just launched, I think with Dear Media, and I'll have to listen to that. But she's been interviewing people and like they're just like what kind of food they love, not so much as the people behind the food and how they grew. So there's different avenues you can go. So yeah, but it's honestly like everything we do will follow the same mission as being a resource for all things food, whether it's travel, whether it's recipes, whether it's recommendations, and that's kind of the goal.
Has there ever been a dish that looked amazing or that you were excited to go to that you went and it was just like completely flat?
I'm sure there has. Many. Probably didn't share it. Trying to think. I mean, I don't want to like throw them under the bus, but like, I don't know. I don't get. This is like an easy. I don't know. People talk about this all the time, but like Peter Luger's, like I went. We didn't love our meal, and then everyone's like, "Well, you didn't get a burger," so I went back for lunch. I didn't care for the burger. People are obsessed with it. It didn't do it for me. I'm trying to think what else. I don't want to like blow up anyone's spot. Obviously, there's like the carbones, you know, that it's silly now.
Yeah.
And people, it's I don't know. I think New York has gotten, I don't know, maybe more touristy, and so the places that everyone loves, like the Fort Charles, the Via Crotas, they get almost too hyped and too crazy, and then they kind of struggle a little bit. And
the quality gets jeopardized. So also it's hard because in the food world, it's so different than like a software company or apparel, meaning that you're getting all this attention and you want to scale up. But when you scale up, the authenticity gets jeopardized. Like Carbone did a good job with like licensing out about the sauce and then opening up these locations. And it's like, it is what it is. If it's got jeopardized a little bit, your quality, it's kind of like he's a part of they have a huge restaurant group now.
No, they're
like on Tao.
But Teresi, phenomenal.
I keep on hearing that. I gotta check it out.
Freaking amazing. I love it. You should go for lunch because they have sandwiches at lunch that they make themselves. Sometimes they do a turkey one. I had this Italian Cubano. I think they make their bread too. It is good. And the
Teresi, where is it?
It's in Soho. It's on Mulberry, maybe? Wait, it is Mulberry. See? Yeah. It's down there. But it's so good.
Would you ever tease the idea of opening something?
I've spoken to enough, I feel like, restaurateurs that there's no more money in it. I talked about it. My husband actually worked in restaurants for years before we met, and we worked with a chef for a minute, and there's not money, and it's really hard in New York right now, especially with just the cost of everything. I'm speaking to you, like, I'm sure you understand.
Of course.
The cost of, with inflation.
Labor and food costs, your overhead.
Yeah, and
it's very slim margins.
I think we have a good thing going now. If there was an opportunity that came up that felt so right and so on brand, I feel like we'd explore it. But I don't know if it's exactly what like is our niche, Yeah,
that's fair. Could it be one of those things that you collaborate and take some like equity points just to help market it?
Oh, I thought of a good hidden gem for Jersey people, if they're listening. Actually, it's not even hidden gem, but like bread and salt is so freaking good. I went back last week, and they're only open Friday to Sunday, but there's the farmer's market on Sundays up there. And so you kind of go to the farmer's market, and then you go wait, and you get, it's not even the pizza, it's the sandwiches. They're like focaccia sandwiches. They have a prosciutto mozzarella one. Amazing. The like little donuts they have, stuff with blueberry jam and like vanilla cream. And then just a sourdough. We brought it home, and we sliced it, and we've been eating it. Because we put it in the freezer because, you got to work through that bread. But okay, that place is so...
No, it is a hidden gem because they're only open Friday to Sunday.
It's true.
And they do the simple things really well.
I just think that whole energy in there, if I was to open, I feel like...
It'd be like that,
I'd
super authentic.
It's like grocery store.
Yeah, and like almost handwritten menus.
Whatever they're doing. It's just seasonal. I love that.
You can tell they're just doing it out of passion.
Yeah.
Because if it was really monetary purposes, they would be open more during the week.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They would be doing a little bit more marketing. It's really just like as long as... I mean, I'm not trying to get involved in their P&Ls, but I'm assuming it's not like... They're not like making ridiculous margins by just open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's really just from like passions of the chefs and putting their love into their art and being artisanal.
Yeah. But they own Corto, right? Don't they up there?
There's certain partners. I think there's one guy who is a piece in all of them. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the whole group together. But yeah, Corto's solid too.
Yeah.
Is there any? What's the one dish or cuisine that defines New York City?
I think it's pizza.
Yeah.
It's pizza and it's burgers now too. I feel like almost there's so many
burgers are popping up left and right.
It is insane the amount of new burger spots. It's really hard to keep track of.
What are your top 5 cuisines? In order.
Japanese.
Number 1?
Well, Japanese has everything. You have not everything, but you have sushi. You have ramen. You have udon. You have yakitori. You have tempura. Like, I went to Japan for the first time last year, and it changed my world. Like, it was incredible. So yeah, I think Japanese. Then I would say Italian. Then I would say, I feel like Mediterranean, Greek, like a Greek cuisine I really like. I mean, I love Chinese. I love like dumplings, noodles, and then I feel like I'm completely missing cuisines. I love Indian food, but I really want to go over to Jersey City because I know there's like a little India over there. I think they have a bunch of restaurants. Yeah, I like Indian food. It's so and Thai. Oh, I don't know.
You have a very well-versed palate. You really just enjoy... have you always been that adventurous when it comes to food? Or just over the years, just been becoming more exploratory?
I think once I went to college, and then I think when I moved to New York, I said, I'm just going to eat everything. I don't like blue cheese. That's like one thing I cannot do. And peas. But those are like two things I don't like.
Peas is random.
Peas is random, but I hate the flavor and the texture. I could eat it in something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. We went to visit my husband's family in Italy, and they made this fresh pasta for us, and they had peas that they had gardened from their farm down the street, and they put peas in the pasta, and I was like, okay, I'll eat these. This is okay. But other than that, no peas.
No peas for you.
Yeah, but I feel like if something is good and done right, it can be so incredible, and it doesn't matter how it's made or where it comes from. And I feel like I wish I do explore even more of New York. I know I love Jackson Heights in Queens. I don't know if you've spent time eating there.
No.
But it's a really, really cool area, and maybe that's a hidden gem. Like, if people have not been out there, that's where they do, like, this momo crawl. You know what momos are? They're like a Tibetan dumpling. They're filled usually with beef or vegetable, and they can be fried, they can be steamed, and they have, like, this kind of spicy, warming sauce. So there's all these places out there. This place, Walk, is amazing. Payul is pretty famous. But then you have, like, the original Birria-landias over there, the tacos. There's this place, Marisco Submarino, which is known for Mexican and seafood. There's this place, Angel, which has really good Indian food. It's just like a basic, no-frill spot. So that's a really cool area.
How do you structure your week to week? Because you go to all these different places, and like, is it now like more organized on your day to day, or is it kind of just to go with the flow?
Typically, I say Mondays and Fridays I like to be home in Hoboken working, but a lot of the time, especially in the summer, I have to like travel somewhere on a Friday, or I don't know. I try and work at home and make all my content then, and get all like the organization. My sisters and I meet every Monday morning. We go through, this is what we're posting this week, but then my sister and I kind of figure out, okay, what's new and exciting in the city right now, and what do we need to go to? What events do we have? Do we have a partnership? And so we plan around those. So I don't know. It really, everything is different. There's no set in stone, but I would say like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I try and do filming or partnerships. And if we feel like we need more content, we go film random things. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, but like in town, and specifically in town in Hoboken, Tuesdays through Thursdays?
No, that's in the city.
Oh, in the city.
So, yeah, what's cool about living out here is I feel like I kind of have my living and working divide. Yeah. So, like, I go into the city kind of to work, and then I'm in Hoboken, and I live, and I kind of, it's slower. You know, I go to the dog park with my dog. I go to the gym. I just kind of chill. And then in the city, it's just kind of like hustle and bustle, and it's like a lot of jumping around and running around everywhere.
If I wanted to open up a concept in New York, what market do you think I should go?
Like food, or what neighborhood?
For like specifically Bagel. What neighborhood? Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't think Midtown. I think it's like that. There is like the West Village bagel vibe now, but I feel like, I mean, there is I feel like not any fun ones in Nomad Flatiron right now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that is a place where a lot of people either live or travel to or work that area. I don't think the Midtown thing, I know some people just opened up there.
Yeah,
and they went right to Midtown. I think that's like the Murray Hill crowd, and I feel like it's good, but I think so many tourists and people visiting New York go to the West Village now. Yeah. And it is a young crowd, and I think, I don't know how your clientele is or your demographics are, but that might be like a good audience. I think it's like that teetering around the West Village area. Maybe even Astor Place, you have, or like NoHo, where This Bowl, which is incredible, and like another.
Which one?
This Bowl. Do you know?
Yeah, that place is booming.
It is so good.
They're booming right now.
Booming. This Bowl, Pura Vita's opening next to it, and so that's kind of like a
little incubator right there.
Yeah, I think the only bagel spot that's really notable around there is the Brooklyn Bagel on 8th or 9th. I kind of like look at a map at bagels, but that might be a fun area.
You've had so many amazing collaborations. Is there any chef or brand you dream of working with?
Oh, I just want to go on a food crawl with Guy Fieri.
That sounds like it's going to happen.
He actually said that maybe in my, I don't know, we're working on it. We're working on it.
I like that.
I wrote my college essay on him, and that's kind of how we got in the door.
You wrote your college essay on him?
I did. And just like on Diner Chimes and Dives, how it like impacted, I don't know, just the way my brain thinks. But my mom knows his manager, and so I don't know, she kind of like helped us get her foot in the door. So hopefully that would be really cool.
I love that.
To eat with him.
We always have this tradition of ending our podcast with a few different questions. One of them is, what is the most impactful advice you've ever been given?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm trying to think of one thing, but the thing that comes to mind is kind of more of a compilation and something I feel like every day. So it's funny. Our mom is like really big on having like a positive attitude. She's always big on like kill them with kindness, be positive. And so actually every day our mom texts us and we'll say, today's going to be and we have to say great day. Like I'm 29 years old, my sister's 32, like she still does this. And so every day we wake up and we just have this mindset where it's just going to be a great day. And I feel like I've kind of instilled that where it's like, all right, just like live every day with this happy mindset and go into it with that. So maybe it's not one piece of advice, but it's just like, I don't know, always having that in your mind. And I think the positivity thing and giving that energy out to other people is incredible. And it will open doors and it will, I don't know, you just want everyone to have, I think, a positive interaction with you when you have that interaction. And that way, you know, if there is something down the line where they want to think of people, they're like, oh, this person, I know they're a good person and I want to work with them again.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I know that's cute that you guys do that.
Yes.
I really do believe in that stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like even just starting your day with gratitude, you know?
Yes.
Starting your day with gratitude or just having, so in your group text, you guys do that every day? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I love that. That's really cute you do.
Yeah. Even actually, when we would like try, or we would go to sleepaway camp, she would make us sit with a calendar next to her and go through every day and like account for each day and make sure we said it was going to be a great day on that day.
That's awesome.
She's also superstitious, so I don't know.
No, it's either really beautiful or OCD.
I don't know. Love her.
Let's lean into it being beautiful.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Oh God. I told you Guy Fieri.
So Guy Fieri. Okay.
Maybe Anthony Bourdain. I'm just like such a food-focused person. Who else do I like?
That's a great table already.
Taylor Swift.
Boom.
There she is.
That's an impactful, dope 3-piece right there. What would that last meal be?
I know I talked about like Japanese food. I mean, I could walk you through like a really decadent meal with like Wagyu and Toro and caviar, but I actually think it would be, I don't know, maybe like a just really hearty Italian situation. I don't know, like I feel like that would hit really hard, like a great like a Caesar salad, a chicken parm. You'd have this thick pasta, some garlic bread. But I'm not even Italian, so I don't even know.
Sounds like it feeds the soul, though.
I'm just thinking of something that feeds the soul, or like a really sick steak dinner, you know, with cream spinach and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and a porterhouse.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Madison, I really appreciate you coming by. Thank you so much. And it's awesome to see the impact you've made in the food space, and you're doing it in a really authentic, dope way. You know, obviously, I myself, as being in the food space, it's really cool to have someone coming from the media space, but doing it in a very positive way, an impactful way. And then I know you're doing big, great things, and then you just having time to do this podcast with someone like me, it means a lot, and I really do appreciate it.
This is great. I mean, I might, on my walk home, go get a bagel. I'm just feeling inspired. But no, thank you for having me. This is awesome. And I also love talking to other people in this space, especially on your side of things, because I feel like I don't get to see the restaurant side always, but we're interacting with restaurant owners so often.
Yeah.
So it's very cool.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much.